Hello, hello, hello. Here we are, live. Here we are. Hello, hello. Hello to everyone who's checking in. I'm going to give it a couple minutes before we start here so we can get some people checking in. Good morning to everyone. My name is Cecilio Negron Jr., and I am here today in partnership with Arts at Large to give you guys some good enrichment this Saturday morning with Arts at Large. And today we're going to do some playing and some discussion about the instruments of the Afro-Latino diaspora. That is percussion instruments and drums primarily. And today I have, and with us today, I have some examples of these drums, and I'm going to play them and talk about some rhythms and talk about what they're made out of, and all of those good things. And so, how we're going to start today is, of course, by saying hello. My name is Cecilio again. Hello to those of you who are just checking in, and we are going to start with a little bit of drumming. And I encourage you guys to grab your instruments if you have any instruments, any drums, maracas. You can get some pots and pans and get some cans and some boxes and toothpicks or chopsticks or whatever some pencils. We can use our hands, use our laps, claps, all participating today, and having a really good interactive moment. Um, During these crazy times, I think it's very important that we try to interact as much as possible, and also have some fun and also learn. So let's get into it. I hope everyone is ready. Take your time, grab some things if you have it. But let's start off like almost. Let's get that going. I'm gonna put some backing tracks for us, and we're gonna have some fun. Okay, let's get this going here. All right, let's start off with, of course, in Africa. When we talk about drums of the Afro-Latino diaspora, we need to think about a couple different regions actually. Um, West Africa, the Caribbean, Central and South America, and also there are modern versions of all these instruments as well, which I'll cover as well. Um, but these regions are where these instruments come from, and they're all connected through the African culture, and these instruments are now used in many different styles of music. Very very popular, especially this first instrument that we have here. I'm trying to see what's going on with the music. Here we go. Excellent. So this is the djembe. I'll show you my djembe here. Pull it out of the little stand that I have for it. But the djembe is originated in West Africa. There are many different versions of the djembe depending on what part of West Africa you're in. Senegal, Guinea, Mali, they all have different shapes and different styles of djembes, but it's primarily made out of one piece of wood, hollow on the inside, hand carved. This is all made by hand. One solid piece of wood. The ropes attach the drum head to the body, and this also used for tuning. The skin here is goat skin. They use calf skin as well, cow skin, but primarily, traditionally, it's goat skin. Again, one solid piece of wood, hand carved, and the ropes attach the skin to the drums using rims as well. There are rims, metal rims here and here as well, and they also tune the drum. And so the djembe has really diverse amount of sound. Let me see if I can do some adjustments on the. Here we go. Let me bring the camera down just a little bit more so you guys can see bass tone, the bass sound, and the tone. It's a bass and tone. Slap. Now this djembe is tuned a little low. What I mean is it's lower frequency, lower pitch, you can say. Usually the djembes are very, very, very tightly pulled and have a very distinct high pitched sound that can be heard for many, many miles. And the djembe again means to gather. This is information that I've learned over the years, and it is the lead drum of the djembe fola. So accompany the djembe from West Africa. From the Mali Empire are the dunduns, the African bass drums. We'll talk about this in a second. I'll put it right here. The dunduns here are made from one solid piece of wood. Of course, they're hollow on the inside, but there's two skins on each side. Right? And traditionally, the dunduns are played with three different people, one on each drum. Attached to the drum is a bell. And I'll demonstrate for you the way that it's played. Let me grab a stand real quick so that I can. Here we go. So, again, the bell's attached. So it's one stick on the bell and another stick on the drum. This is the Kinkani dundun, which is the smallest one. They come in three different sizes. You're going to see the theme of three a lot. Here's the other one here, right here. This is the Samba, which is the middle drum. And then there's the big one. The theme of three, mama, daddy, baby, right? Mama runs everything, right? So mama's the big one. So here, this is what the Kinkani sounds like. Kinkani dundun. West Africa. West African bass drum. West African bass drum. I hope you guys can hear me really well. So if you have any questions about what I'm covering, please put them in the comments. I can see what's going on and I can follow the comments. So again, if you have any questions about anything that I just said or anything, please, by all means, put them in the comments. Hello to everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Do I give lessons? Yes, I do give lessons. If you're interested in learning more about what I do, you can go to CecilioNegronJr.com, and there you can request a quote on my services. Please go check that out. So let's continue, shall we? So this is a Kinkani, again, West Africa, made out of one solid piece of wood. Kinkani dundun. They're in the dundun family, the family of three. Here is the Samba here underneath. Staying in West Africa, we're gonna go out of the drum family, and actually cover a lot of Africa, all over Africa. This instrument here is especially used a lot, and I'm going to use it to bridge to a different region. But the shekere, made from a gourd, hollow on the inside, a gourd that grows in the ground, grows on the vine. Gourds are used for many different things. They use them for cups, they use them for bowls, many different purposes. And the shekere Yep, you just shake it. It's got beads on the outside. You see? Beautiful instrument. Yep, percussion instrument from Africa. They also come in many different sizes. I've seen some huge ones. I'm glad that it sounds great. Thank you for that feedback. So let's continue. All right. So out of West Africa, we're going to come across the Atlantic, come across and go into the Caribbean, and go to where my family's from. We're going to start primarily in the area of Cuba and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, and also Haiti, which is connected as well. So we're going to cover some of the instruments that come from that area. Shall we? First thing, let's start off with, of course, I didn't bring any down here, and I should have brought anything down here, but basically 2 sticks called Khalaby, right? Again, this is all of these instruments in the Caribbean now that we're at has been influenced by West Africa in general, because of the migration of African people during a really bad time in our history, during the transatlantic slave trade, during the colonial times when this country was being built. The culture still lived, and it changed, and it developed and grew and evolved into what we know it today, and it's still growing and evolving. And the spread of the African culture has been spread is all over the world. The influence is everywhere. So in the Caribbean especially, but we start off with the Khalaby, 2 sticks, right? Okay. Primarily, there's instruments that they're specifically made for that. I didn't bring any down here, unfortunately. Let's move on. Put these here, and let's go over to these instruments. This instrument here. This is called. These, ladies and gentlemen, are bongos. Some of these other drums you can see here are not bongos. These are the bongos, right? You have small and a large, low pitch, high pitch. These happen to be made with synthetic drum. I put synthetic drum heads on these, made from plastic. But they come with calfskin traditionally. Cowskin. They're played in between the legs. And the birthplace is Cuba, right? And again, they come in different sizes depending on the style of music, and depending on also where they're made as well. But we call them bongo, okay? So when we refer to the instrument, we refer to them by their name. We say their name the way they're intended to be said. So bongo, right? So these are bongo, and for moving on from bongo. Now these aren't all the instruments in these regions. Okay, there are more. Definitely, I'm opening up the door for you guys to explore, and discover on your own. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you want to know more after this, you can reach me at CecilioNegronJr.com. You can also check out what Arts at Large is doing, because this is definitely a great partnership, and I'm very grateful for our relationship and Arts at Large in general. So let's move on, shall we? Yes. Before I get onto this other drum here, I'm going to move this over here so I can have space. I'm going to go over some of the percussion instruments that you find. This is the güiro, the Cuban güiro, right? Used in cha-cha-cha music, used in salsa music. I know you've seen these before, many different versions. This one happens to be made out of plastic, so it's very weathered. But this one here is a traditional güiro from Puerto Rico, and it's made from a gourd. So let me remind people that anything that you can scrape, shake, or strike is percussion. So all different instruments that you are all around you, all different kinds of drums. You can make music and create vibrations with anything, right? So a gourd with lines scraped in it. The pick is made from old piano wire, piano strings, right? Guido, right? Guido, from Puerto Rico. Then in the Dominican Republic and also in Colombia as well, they use the guira metal. This is not a cheese grater, although it probably could be used. I wouldn't want to do that though. But anyways, guira. Again, this is hollow on the inside. You see, and they come in different sizes. All right, you'll find these all over the Caribbean, Central America, South America. Many different versions of it. There's some versions that play like this. And we'll get to explore. You'll get to explore that because I just opened the door for you guys. So check that out. Guida. All right. Let's see here. All right. This is going pretty well. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. I wonder if I can put some music in the background, huh? Let's try something. All right, let's keep that going in the background, huh? That sounds like fun. So let's move on. Let's go back to Cuba and let's talk about some of my main instruments and some of the drums from the Caribbean that you'll see a lot in a lot of different band setups. There's all different musical setups all around the world. These are called tumbadoras. People know them as congas. Sometimes people call them big bongos. No. Tumbadoras, right? We'll get to these in a second. These are made from barrels. Our African ancestors, our Afro-Latino ancestors took the barrels from the ships and created drums. They were allowed to play drums in some places in the Caribbean and Central and South America. And so, hollow on the inside. These ones happen to have synthetic skins again, but they come with cow skin traditionally. I've seen some with goat skin as well. Tumbadoras come in 3 different sizes, right? Right? Quinto, conga, tumba, right? Small, medium, large. You see them in different sizes. They have different, diameters, different size, height as well, depending on the style. And there's a Cuban style. The drums that my dad have, actually, my dad, Cecilio Negron, he's got the taller, they look like barrels. They have a lot of the rings around them. They're made from wood. They have the natural skin on there as well. So this is the tumbadora. So the tumbadora, again, I mentioned earlier with the djembe, I played bass, I played tone, I played slap on it. That's a certain technique that you use for the drum, right? So you can apply that to any hand drum. Hand drum here, hand drum here, hand drum here. With the bongos, the 2 sizes provided you with a low and a high pitch, right? So the low would be bass and the high would be tone. Bass, tone, slap. Close bass, closed tone, right, or muck, and closed slap. So these different sounds give the variety of colors and beautiful intricacies of the rhythm, right? You can play the rhythm, just play it, but when you apply technique, it gives you a different sound. So I can say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or I could play that same pattern but just switch it with my technique. So it's about learning rhythms and getting your hands to play the sounds that you want them to play when you want them to play them. So let's move on. Tumbadora. And then some other percussion instruments from the Caribbean is campana, the bell, right? Beautiful bell. This bell is made here in Wisconsin. My really good friend makes these bells. And this is a high-pitched one. But again, they come in different pitches as well. Okay, everybody knows, and everybody always wants more combo. Yeah, okay, all right. So, and then of course we do know definitely about maracas, right? Now, anything you can shake, scrape, or strike is percussion, right? Anything, it produces a vibration, right? So these instruments are very important. These maracas and shakers, you see the shakere, same family. You see another one that I'm going to cover in a little bit. But these make or break music. They're easy to play, maybe, if you go. But otherwise, once you start getting, you got to be really on top of it. You got to really apply certain techniques. Maracas, right? Okay, so got that there. All right, let's see what we got. Any comments here? Let's see if anybody's. Got a lot of people checking in. Let's go here. All right. Hello to everyone checking in. Shout out to Mitch. Good to see you in here. All right. Cool. So let me know if it sounds good. All right. If it needs to be improved, if I need to talk into the mic more too, let me know. Please remind me. But let's move on, shall we? So tumbadora, born in Cuba. It was really hard for me to choose what instruments because I got a lot of drums. These are all my a lot of these drums are my personal inventory and also drums from family and friends as well. And so it was just really hard for me to choose. You know, there's so many options. But another set of drums that you may have seen that come from the Caribbean, and this is the Latin percussion family, right? So the Afro-Latino percussion family is what I like to call it. And the timbales, they're played with sticks, and they're basically the drum set of the Latin percussion, the Afro-Latino ensemble, or the rhythm section. A high drum, and basically bells on top, and they're the drum set. They apply themselves as the drum set. They apply themselves as the drum set, and that setting, and they're used a lot in salsa music and all music all over Latino America. Timbales, Sheila E, Tito Puente, those are all great musicians that play the timbales. Some great musicians that play the tumbadoras is Giovanni Hidalgo, Pedrito Martinez. Amazing. I've had an amazing experience in getting to know that amazing person. My dad, Cecilio Negron, my uncle, Alberto Rivera, all students and masters of the tumbadora, okay? Afro-Latino percussion. Let's move on. If I could jump back a little bit, and earlier I made reference to modern materials being used on traditional instruments. And so the djembe, when I showed you the djembe is This one is traditional. This has the ropes. It has the animal skin. It's made out of the natural materials, the wood. But the modern technology has given us the opportunity to, make our instruments last longer, or stay tuned longer. And so drum companies like Remo, like Latin Percussion, and you can do the research on it. These are all Meinl. There's another company from Germany. These are all instruments companies that have traditional instruments that are made traditionally, and then they have instruments that are made with modern materials. And so this djembe here is key tuned and is made from synthetic materials. I think they're great for students. I would never take this to a serious djembe fola, a serious African dance class, but they're great for students. They're tunable, and this is also great sometimes when I'm on the road and I don't want to take my djembe out into certain elements, and so it's lightweight as well, so it's kind of good to carry around. And so it's a modern interpretation of a traditional instrument, and I call it it's the instruments evolving and the culture evolving and changing with the times. And so these instruments came out of necessity, the traditional instruments, right? The traditional tumbaloras, the shekere, the djembe, the dunduns, right? They were made out of the materials that they were around them. And so this being a modern version of that, I really support the instrument evolving and changing, and the needs of the musician and the artist, because that's how it originated to begin with. So moving on right now, let me see if there's anybody with any comments. All right. And then also too, it'd be helpful if we are friends on Facebook, you can send me a quick chat if you have a question. If you want a specific question, you can hit chat and send me that question as well. If there's something you want to notice offhand, if you need me to review something again. So let's move out of the Caribbean and let's go to the beautiful, beautiful country of Brazil. Yes, Brazil. I've never been to Brazil, but it's on my list. And but I've had the opportunity to study Samba with Marco Santos, which is a great percussionist from Brazil, and a master sambaista, I think that's how you say it, but master percussionist and a great person. And so here in Milwaukee, we've got Samba da Vida as well with my really good friend Julio Pavon. And so we've learned a lot about this culture and a lot about the instruments. Let's start off with the percussion. Everyone say "a go go." Yep, this is the bell. Again, there's a huge African influence in Brazil. In the culture, was actually, you can say it was more respected and more accepted. Not completely, but and so it became more integrated into society and everyday life. So samba is huge and really huge in Brazil. There are huge schools and things like that. So let's start off with the go. Go. Many different sizes. Sometimes you'll see them 3, they have 4 or 5 different tones. But they're definitely an instrument that is a distinct sound. Has a very distinct sound, to say the least. Let's move on. Here's the shaker. Now this thing is super loud. Forgive me if I blow out your speakers and blow your ears out. Be careful. This rocar or chocalo, they call them different things, right? But there's basically the tambourine, the Brazilian tambourine. And they're made out of many different things. You can make these at home easily. Metal bottle caps, twist off ones, the metal ones, right? From the root beers, right? Some wood, anything you can shake. Again, it becomes an instrument, right? You bring it to life by creating rhythms with it, right? So yeah, Chocolo, from Brazil. Let's move on. This bad boy right here. Ooh, this thing. Little but deadly. Tamborin. Played with traditionally. Thank you, Mitch, for making these. These are all amazing. Basically a frame drum. This has a plastic head on it, right? It's tuned very, very tight. Tamborim. Let's bring the music up a little bit. Maybe I can play along. Super loud, small but deadly. Again, from Brazil. This was made out of metal, but they have many different materials that they make them with. All right. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everybody's feeling strong and healthy. I was outside earlier and it was very warm. Not much sun today, but we're going to still enjoy the warmth. We'll get it in and enjoy as much as we can. All right? All right, let's continue. In Brazil, I don't know if you were here earlier, we talked about the African bass drums, the dunduns. 3 different ones, right? Right here. These ones right here. Right? Kinkani, Samba, Dundumba, right? The 3 different African bass drums. Well, the family of 3, again, we covered in the Caribbean. Tumbadoras, conga, quinto conga tumba, right? The tumbadoras. So now the surdos, the bass drums of Brazil, come in 3 different sizes, right? Primera, segunda, tercera, right? Here is an example of one. Bass drum. Now, if you heard Brazilian music this at all, this is definitely, you know the sound. A lot of times people don't realize that they kind of know the sounds of these instruments, but they don't really know that they know it. It's so embodied in our subconscious sometimes. You know, so the surdo is a big sound, right? Play with the mallet. Up a Brazilian rhythm so I can play along with. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having a great time right now. Yeah. from Brazil. Comes in 3 different sizes: primera, segunda, tercera. Primera being the biggest one, segunda being the middle one, and tercera being the smallest one. And usually, the smaller the drum, and all of these drums in the drum family, the higher the pitch, right? So, as you can see, I've got a couple different ones here. And this one actually is roped. Made by my good friend Julio Pavon. These are kind of similar to the sordos that you will find in the northern part of Brazil. Smaller bass drums, right? They're carried. And again, there's so many different styles of samba, and depending on the region in Brazil, there's a different style of samba in the north than there is in the south. So take your opportunity for you to explore it even more. I'm just opening up the doors for everybody, giving a brief explanation of these instruments, these beautiful instruments of the Afro-Latino diaspora, and just a little bit of history about them. I want to play some more, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. That'll be awesome. Surdo, right? All right, beautiful. So to complete out the Brazilian family, I'm gonna go to the lead drum of the ensemble, and it's called the hepi. The hepaniki is high pitched, usually played carried. They put the straps on. I think I have my straps here. I could probably put it on as well to show you how it's carried. But it leads the ensemble. It's like the djembe of the djembe fola in a sense, where it leads with calls and in partnership with a lot of the Brazilian, the whistle, the samba whistle as well. In Brazil, the Africans took the marching drums from the Portuguese military and applied all of the traditional African understanding to these instruments, changed them, made these instruments out of materials that they found there, and to continue the culture. So it evolved, right? And it's continued to evolve, in my opinion, and to grow and to change. And we're products of our environment, and these instruments came out of necessity, right? The need to express culture, the need to express themselves artistically, to continue traditions, to provide instruments for their religion, to hold on to anything that they had that was home, because a lot of these people were taken from where they're from, and the culture had to survive somehow. And so it's a beautiful thing if you think about it. It's bad, it's terrible that it happened in the way that it did, but the culture blossomed. The beautiful things always come from that situation. So you just have to appreciate different cultures around the world and what we all have to offer. I think that's very important. So I hope everyone can hear me well. Hepaniki. And I may have to make some adjustments here so you guys can hear me. And see me. So this is a shell. It's hollow on the inside. These rods here are what tunes the instruments. I have it set on a stand here so that I can play standing up. But traditionally, it's carried with straps. Again, different styles of hepanikis and depending on the region that you're from, right? So now it's played with one stick and one hand, but it's also played with two sticks as well. And usually the sticks that are played are straight sticks, and sometimes they also have these sticks that are very, very flexible. They're long, made of usually plastic, and they flex. You can hold the stick and bend it, and so it gives a distinct sound to the instrument. Let me demonstrate a little bit how I've learned. All right. All right. Hepaniki, ladies and gentlemen, from Brazil. And so the rhythm that you're hearing in the background is Samba Batucada from the southern part of Brazil. I'm using some really good, interesting apps that provide rhythmic backgrounds for me to do a lot of different things and different styles of rhythms from different regions. And so right now, I pretty much went through all of the families of the instruments that I wanted to cover with you guys today. And so I'm going to demonstrate a couple different rhythms on each of these instruments with the accompaniment of some rhythms from my apps here on Modern Technology, right? If you want to know what apps I use, you can always inbox me and I'll give you the information on which apps I'm using. These apps I purchased, and they're a very valuable resource as well. I create my own loops and create my own digital music, sample-based production as well, which is a lot of fun because you can right now with modern technology with your phone, you can just record something and then turn it into music. And there's a lot of great apps out there that allow you to be creative and musically creative. Yeah, so before I do that, let me just see how we're doing here on the comments, and if anybody has any questions. Shout out to all my family and friends who's checked in. All right. I'm having so much fun right now. All right. So, to end, I'm going to grab the djembe. I'm going to grab an African rhythm from my app here. Okay, so to end this great time this morning, let me just give a shout out to Arts at Large for helping making this happen. This has been a partnership with Arts at Large. I've been working with Arts at Large for a couple years. If you want to know more about Arts at Large, please go to their website. They have a regular Saturday virtual class like this going on every Saturday with different artists in the morning. Check their website for that information, as well as they have things going on during the week. A lot of great things that they're doing. Go to Arts at Large website. I pretty much, I think I put the details in my description of the video. And so thank you to Arts at Large for having me and making this happen. I hope that this was informative and fun for everyone. But I'm going to wrap it up here. We're about a little bit past the minute mark here. And I'm going to play a little bit of a West African rhythm that I use a lot when teaching at many different places that I teach. Again, if you want to know about where that is and more about what I do and all that, you can go to CecilioNegronJr.com. You can go check out Arts at Large as well. And if you have any questions and you want to know more about this, I give private lessons, I do consulting, I do all kinds of things in regards to the arts, not just music, but visual arts as well, and theater and music production and so on and so forth. So let's have a conversation about what you want to know. And so we're going to move on with Cuckoo. Before we do that, though, I think we need to pick it up a little bit to get us pumped up for the rest of the day. How about that? Let's go here and then here. Grab my djembe. And I'm going to say much love to everybody. I hope you're safe. Keep healthy. Show much love to everyone. And we'll see you again. To be continued, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day, everybody. Much love.